Do you buy vinyl?
My name is King Britt, that is my real name. I'm from Philadelphia. We're gonna find out what's in my bag. So, Cosey, Fanni, Tutti, one of my favorite artists, one of the founding members of Throbbing Gristle, then went on to do Chris and Cosey with her husband, Chris Carter, and now they do more experimental, electronic, minimal stuff, and a lot of sound installations. Throbbing Gristle was always heroes of mine back in high school, big on the industrial scene, and it was always good to see Cosey doing her thing because it was such a male-dominated genre. She seemed out of context, but she was killing it, you know? So in high school, you're like, yeah, I want to date someone like that. But anyway, so I saw the book, and I was like, yo, I gotta read it. And it's like, it's an insane book.
If I hadn't had the diaries, I wouldn't have known how Sleazy and Chris came into my life, or the events that led up to that. It's not a kiss and tell. It's just a tell. To find peace of mind does not mean isolation.
This, I don't think it was ever issued on vinyl, or I never saw it. Sun Ra, John Cage collaboration. As a kid, my mom was friends with Ra and the orchestra, and so we went to rehearsals, and I just remember not liking the music, but loving the costume. But now, of course, I love the music. And John Cage, always a hero, especially setting up parameters for production. It changes the way I think about process. This is one of my favorite albums. It's been reissued. Talk Talk, Spirit of Eden. Probably one of the best recorded records of all time. You probably know Talk Talk for their pop stuff. It's My Life. And, you know, I think Gwen Stefani covered it. They totally went 180 degrees and went into more avant-garde stuff. And this album really is kind of a precursor to what Radiohead is doing now and a lot of different groups. Yeah, one of the greatest records of all time. Laraji, one of my heroes, another hero from Philly. He did an album with Brian Eno back in '83, and that's when I was introduced to Laraji's music. Very meditative, very spiritual. William Basinski, he did the Disintegration Tapes. He had the recordings on reel-to-reel, and he was transferring them to digital. The day it was going down, every time you run the old tapes, if you don't bake them, they start to disintegrate. So you actually hear that sound as you're recording. But anyway, this is one of his new records. Now, I collect spoken word and like really odd records like about dancing or instructional records or whatever. I grew up in a household, both my parents were heavy revolutionaries. Right now you have Denzel and Viola Davis, and which that movie, Fences, was like really powerful film.
It's not easy for me to admit that I've been standing in the same place for 18 years.
Well, I've been standing with you. I've been right here with you, Troy.
And it reminded me so much of Mr. Ossie Davis and his wife, Ruby Dee. And this is the genius of the black side. I collect black speeches and black revolutionary records.
That the plight of the prisoner unfolds in the rock bottom realms of human existence.
And I've never seen this It's a series, 5-minute little shows, and he was the host.
Hello, this is Ossie Davis for Social Security.
It's a winner.
Today, Miss Leontine Price.
I always look for records that I have no clue about, but as a digger and collector, I know when it's a good record. The cover is just the illest cover, right? But you can't really go by the cover all the time. This guy's Danny Toan. He's a guitarist, influenced by Larry Coryell. First I look for the instruments. I keep seeing Electroniques, Moog, and the year also. You gotta look at the year, 77, come on. I don't even need to explain anything. You're telling me you would not buy this record? Dog Training in Your Home by Steve Cobb. The Cobb Method? It's gotta be samples. It's gotta be. I don't know what this is, but these brothers look happy, man. Like they just finished this record and they know it's gonna sell. Willie Ruff I've heard of, jazz French horn player. And I love French horn. One of the sexiest instruments. Dwight Mitchell, I'm not familiar with, but it's just piano and French horn, and it's brothers, so. And last but not least, Musiques Electroniques of France. I always like to listen to the old stuff and how they first were fearless, but also how they were making these sounds. This is a very rare synthesizer used by Pink Floyd. I wanted to hear exactly how far they were pushing these machines back then. Thank you very much.
Awesome, thank you so much.
And remember, if you have any questions about Medicare, please call any Social Security office. Someone there will be glad to help you. They're listed in the phone book under Social Security Administration. Until next week, this is Ossie Davis saying goodbye.
Amoeba.